baby.
The purpose of this documentary is to promote Macclesfield's creative culture and make people aware of the fact that there may be more going on than they might think. I filmed this documentary over the duration of 2 years. I've edited it so that the footage is relevant to the narrative, not the timeline. I don't really want to do the bit about COVID, but it's necessary because it was a time period which took place when I started making this documentary, so I've got to cover it. During that time period, a lot of people that were creative and a lot of musicians use that time period to embrace their isolation.
It's soul destroying, isn't it, not being able to do what we love doing the most, but in some ways it's kind of had some positives, I think.
Yeah, the amount of songs that have come out of the lockdown period.
Proper, yeah, like the songs we've written, the time we've had to create a creative space as well for us to rehearse it and to write. So it's allowed us some time to kind of do that rather than the live side of things, but we just can't wait to spring back now. We're hungry for it.
Survive?
Well, we did survive. We did, because we're back.
Well,
It was a nightmare.
We didn't get any. We're one of them businesses where we slipped through the net of getting any furlough, so we got no help there really. We got help with the rates with the council, which was good, cool and everything. But when it comes to furlough, we got nothing. So we were basically, I think there's 2.5 million businesses in the country didn't get any help because of the way they were a limited company and something else in there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's to do with the way you pay. You get paid a dividend and things like that. And
so no, we
struggled. We definitely struggled.
We're holding
there's no
on
doubt
to
about
by the
that.
skin of our teeth.
But we were quite lucky because for the couple of years before, we were hoping to make some changes this year and change a few things in MASH and step a few things up and looking at some other projects, and we were putting money aside to do that. And now that's all gone. We've literally survived. We paid ourselves. MASH has paid us out of the money we put aside, we had some very small savings, and they've gone.
So it's starting again.
From my perspective, teaching, I managed to do a lot of it remotely. So teaching online, via sort of Zoom or FaceTime, which it's not the same, but it worked. And I think for a lot of students, it gave them something to focus on, while everybody was at home, in isolation. It gave people something to focus on. In terms of gigs, obviously that came to a complete standstill. So I think I did my last gig in, February of 2020, before, we went into complete lockdown, and then the next gig I did was the July 2021. So it was a massive period of no work, which was difficult. Thankfully, I did get some help from the government, which, helped me sort of get by. A lot of work I tried to do from home. I did a few sort of live gigs on Facebook and things like that, social media platforms. But yeah, it certainly wasn't easy.
The only way we can survive little businesses coming together when they need on bigger projects, but working separately on other things. And the idea of big business and the overhead and offices and everything, it's all changed. COVID's massively changed everything. And it's these satellite industries understanding what each other do to come together on bigger things, but actually to work in separate entities as well.
For me, personally, COVID has provided that opportunity for me to be able to approach a company and say, I want to work from home. All the music that's featured in this documentary is produced in Macclesfield or by people that are connected to Macclesfield in one way or another.
So obviously everything that we do, we write ourselves, so it's all original music. It's kind of like pop rock, I suppose, but it's constantly changing,
yeah.
isn't it? So
we're kind of getting into like quite a lot of electronic elements and exploring that now.
Yeah, 100%. So
which be it is very interesting to do.
Yeah, it is.
What genre of music do I produce? I first started out doing a lot of dance music, a lot of featured vocals. I was lucky enough to work with some amazing people, some great remixers, Love to Infinity, Soda Club. Back in the sort of late 90s, early noughties, we released a few records, you know, throughout the UK and Japan and stuff. So I was doing a lot of sort of dance music, vocals, and which led to work for featured vocals for other people as well. So that was really where I started. But I've always had a passion for real music, you know, real instruments. So I got back into guitars again when I was sort of in my late 20s, and then started working on original sort of country inspired, if you like, not really country music, but you know, that sort of feel to it, sort of acoustic, pop, all sorts. I mean, I've got quite an eclectic taste in music, so if somebody wants a specific song producing, then, you know, we'll work to that.
So I feel like for me, when it comes to like genres, I feel like I find it hard to label the genre that I make, because it's pretty much, I'm just very like mood dependent. So like, especially because of YouTube, there's all sorts of beats out there. If I catch a vibe on a certain beat and it gets me thinking and writing, then I'll jump on it. But in terms of genres or subgenres, it's probably just like a form of UK hip hop. It's definitely not drill. I spit on like trap instrumentals, so you could maybe say there's a bit of trap in there, but like I wouldn't. Yes, I don't know. It's hard. It's like I feel like, for example, slow tie. I get told I sometimes sound like / have the aesthetic similar to slow tie. So I suppose what sort of genre? It's like, yeah, I suppose it's just like UK hip hop, I'd say. I find it hard to narrow it down. I was lonely as fuck, just busting a nut, putting freestyles on Insta just to feel some love. I'm not sending any prayers, I'm not looking above. I'm just praying to myself, I'm never giving it up. Having conversations in the mirror, always bigging me up. Sometimes I feel I'm the only one giving a fuck. No, I've said enough, it's just a quick when I was feeling it today. Don't forget my mixtape on the 28th of May. Cheers. When it comes to creating music, obviously you can put things in genres and subgenres, but I feel like realistically all you're doing then is just boxing things, and I don't really like to, you know, be put into a box. Like if I want to create something that triggers an emotion inside of me, then I'm going to create it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it's got a different tempo or different instruments in it. You know what I mean? It's like music's music at the end of the day. So.
There's quite a broad spectrum of creativity in Macclesfield. It's not just limited to music.
So it started off as a hobby, but I think we're going to progress and try and get it to be a full-time thing. That's the end goal, really. It's all digital stuff you'll see at the minute, but I mean I do a lot of painting and drawing as well, but the stuff you'll see on Instagram is all digital. I started drawing when I was about 4 years old. I don't really have a particular like influence or anything like that, but it could come from anything really, like something I hear on TV or absolutely anything. So it's mainly commissions at the minute. I'd like to do freelance down the line, but I need to put something in place to do that. No, I've not done any exhibitions, but if one was on the table, I'd probably do it. I think it's easier to do things online these days. I did go to college to do more traditional stuff like painting and drawing, but all the digital stuff I'm doing these days is all self-taught. So I've got an iPad Pro with a pen, and then I just installed Procreate for a tenner, and it was the best £10 I've ever spent.
Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm one of the founders of the Courthouse Collective, and this is some of the art we've done. We only started doing art 6 months ago because of COVID. We wanted to make something physical and playful and engaging and celebrate our local heritage and history. So all our artwork we've produced is about where we live, but it's mixing past, present and future, and it's weaving new realities with historical threads. So this is a series of art we made first of all for our own walls, and then everybody wanted them, so we started selling at the wonderful Treacle Market. So Rock on Treacle Market, Rock on Courthouse Collective. This is the first section, but we're starting on Jodrell Bank, and our threads are going to spread out across Cheshire until we conquer the country with beautiful artwork that celebrates beautiful things in Britain.
Adore Jane Munro.
The people who work it, Jane, you know, just everything about it.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
The team behind her, it's done a huge. The footfall in Macclesfield on those days, on the Sunday that the Treacle Market falls, is just huge compared to anything. You ever went into Macclesfield on a Sunday before the Treacle Market, it was like, you know, there were puffballs blowing down the street, and then now. Yeah,
it's I mean, for me, I'd love to see two. But, you know,
you were saying at the weekend when you
Jane
2 a month.
Yeah, I just think they're great, and it's done wonders for Macclesfield. You know, it's just an amazing thing.
I think the Treacle Market is a really good thing for the town because it brings people from outside the town into the town. It also gives local artists a platform in order to get their stuff out there.
I think the Treacle Market's great because it provides somewhere for local artists and creatives to sell things that they've crafted or produced.
So we're using the local building today, Christchurch, working with the Renaissance Project, Plant Swap and Grow Macclesfield, under the One Project, to bring all green initiatives to Macclesfield. That could be from local businesses or larger charities that have green initiatives at the heart of what they do, or the community. So as you can see, it's really bustling today. There's outdoors, indoors, and loads of things on for the kids.
I'm Sarah from the Random Apple Company. We're based just outside of Macclesfield towards Rayno, and we collect in people's unwanted apples, turn them into juice, and they get some juice back in exchange for it. So now is our busiest time of year, and we want your apples.
Sometimes it's like, I just think, well, if people would just stop and take a look around, you know, they'd realise that it's a nice place to live. So I went out with my camera and I decided that I've got to ask people some questions about Macclesfield when they're actually on a night out. So this meant that a lot of people were drunk, and I think it's good to ask people what they think of things when they're drunk, because they'll give you an honest answer. There's no bullshit.
What do you think of Macclesfield? Like culturally?
It's got good links to big metropolitan areas like Manchester and the rest. It's quite an affluent area. It's got nice housing opportunities, and I think it's got a lot to offer in terms of nightlife and the like. It's got places that smaller towns don't have. It's got a bowling alley. It's got everything probably but a cinema. So, yeah.
Culturally, I mean, like, it's not fucking advanced, is it? It's fucking shit all.
I would agree.
I mean, it's like, it's not like a fancy place. It's not. It's just fucking. It's your bog standard English shit town.
Oh! Let me get my novel! I need to go to the liquor. No!
Give it! What do you think of Macclesfield?
Absolutely great. It's the best place in the world.
It's good. It's just like with the drinking town of Cheshire, isn't it? So
it's funny. I was gonna go to
You were going first to Beak, right?
Yeah, but then I like threw up outside and then everyone let me in.
Oh, you were not
That's
there.
culture. That's good. You got to say it. That is culture.
Where you go? What do you think of Macclesfield? Like culturally?
I think it's as cucumber.
The girls are a cucumber.
A cucumber, mate.
I'm currently taking, but I don't really have any. All the shit.
Macclesfield it's a bit edgy, you know. I think one of the things that attributes to the edginess in Macclesfield is the fact that it's full of energy, you know. It's one of those places where it's always been full of energy, you know. How that energy is kind of channeled is another thing, but I think when it comes to creativity in Macclesfield, that's the reason. I think that's the main reason is the edginess and the angst. It's like a bit of a paradox. It's beautiful, it's right by the countryside, but then it's a bit rum at the same time, and that's why I love Macclesfield. One thing that I think is really cool is that some old buildings are getting utilised and their architecture remains true to the original style. There are loads of bars and night venues dotted around Macclesfield, and I think, you know, now all of them cater for live musicians in one way or another.
I did a documentary about Macclesfield. Like.
Oh yeah? Yeah.
Put in these fucking. Put this in.
Could be in it if you want, mate.
Yeah, and what is it about?
It's doing about like music and stuff, like about culture, how it's like, you know, getting more cultural. You know what I mean? And it's like compared to years ago.
This face is cultural.
Yeah, mate.
With tattoo and put this in it and it.
Down, jump up to get beat down. That's what it was when I was out.
Alright, mate, yeah.
I take your word for it. What, excuse me, can I have a photo? Oh, can I have a photo? Yeah.
It's videos.
You can't make videos of them. You can't make videos on a big camera. Why are you so rigged out? Why are you so rigged out? Like, come on, this is... And we're filming in thing. I've seen festival filmers with less camera gear.
I'm doing it. I'm doing a thing like.
You're doing it for Broken Record. I saw you before.
Yeah. I do like a documentary about Mac. You know, back.
Really? Oh, that's way better. Oh, I respect that.
To be fair, this is the most accepted place around Mac. Like, this is the place where, I'm not gonna lie, everyone knows it when we say. You get all different types of people, but this is where your gays come, your lesbians come, your transgenders come. Everyone like that who might feel a bit uncomfortable going out to a normal club. This place here, mate, everyone fucking loves them. Everyone's welcome here. No one says anything. It's just, do you know what I mean? It's sort of known for that.
I feel like Mash has just got a perfect little intimate stage. It's got a very cool aesthetic to it, and it's also got the outside bit as well. So I feel like Mash has just got the best place to go for live music, to be fair, 100% compared to other pubs. Yeah, I'd probably say Mash, to be fair. Defo, shout out Mash.
So we had this wild idea we wanted to open a bar, and we don't really know why.
Yeah, well, we watched somewhere where we could enjoy our music, really.
Yeah, exactly. No one was doing really what we wanted to see or what we wanted to go to. And
there was good bars, but we wanted something that was us.
Yeah. And it started as a joke, and MASH definitely started as a joke. It was MASH after the television 70s MASH television
Military,
series.
Army, Surgical Hospital, is that right?
Something like that, yeah. And then we were going to serve mashed potato in a cone with the sausage in the top, and we were going to deck the place out like a military army hospital. And then all those things went away when we found this building. And this building is really the reason, isn't it? We came in here, we weren't looking, we just happened to see this building was for let, and someone said, you might as well have a look at it. And we walked in the front door and we immediately fell in love with it. Immediately. And before we'd even got home or talked to the landlord, I'd bought the wallpaper. It's on the wall downstairs. And it just happened not quickly, did it? It took about 8 months from starting it to get it going.
I just wanna go back to when things were slow. When things were slow.
I think it's fair to say that the main two venues in Macclesfield for live music are the Swan with Two Necks and MASH. I think Macclesfield definitely needs like another big venue, like a main venue, and also I think more could be done for the electronica scene and the hip hop scene in Macclesfield.
So obviously there are quite a few live music venues in Mac, but they're all just like pubs, aren't they? They're all just like it's just mainly pubs. There's no like go-to place where like a almost not like a stadium, but like a big open hall where like an artist could go. Sometimes like obviously like trucks or like performance trucks are set up in the central of Macclesfield, and people and then like bands perform to the town of Mac. But I feel like it definitely needs some form of like something like the Ritz in Manchester, you know what I mean? Not even something too big, but a place with a bigger stage, big sound, like you can put some proper good sound system in there and get it going. Because I feel like at the moment it's just mainly just pubs with a slightly raised bit of stage, you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like it definitely needs some sort of like little bigger venue for artists to perform in, you know what I mean?
I think there could be more live music venues in Macclesfield, as I said previously, just for a bit more variety in what people want. You know, if you're really into your indie music, a venue that maybe puts that kind of stuff on more, you know, your jazz, your rock, maybe just your acoustic singer-songwriters, or just seeing somebody doing some covers. You know, people want different things, so there's always room for more live music in Macclesfield, I think. And also, you know, to give people the opportunity, there are some great musicians out there who don't necessarily write, but they're still incredibly talented musicians or singers, and they should also be given a platform, you know, an opportunity to gig somewhere.
Macclesfield's very sparse for live venues. There's not really that much available. The best venues in Mac are most certainly MASH. It's probably the best live venue. And I think Swan as well, Swan with two necks. I think that's a great venue. It's a really good community in there, and they always tend to pack it out.
Right, obviously you know I'm the landlady. I just want to thank you all for your support through all the lockdowns that Mr. Boris has given us. It's a delayed Chinese marbles gig. We're going to do the countdown.
Hey, you've got a minute! Hey, you've got a minute!
We haven't. No! 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1!
Hey, Gracie!
Surge, formerly Broken Record, they've been hosting a number of drum and bass nights in Macclesfield, which have been really successful.
Yeah.
there isn't much electronic music getting performed in Macclesfield. There's a lot of it getting produced, which you probably wouldn't even realise, because it's a lot of people that produce electronic music, like myself, are quite shy by nature, and do a lot of it in the bedrooms.
There can never be enough music venues, but what Macclesfield still lacks is a major music venue. And Christchurch, they're getting wonderful gigs on in Christchurch now, which gives a wider capacity, but very limited to what kind of band you put on by the fact it's a preserved building and still consecrated, I believe.
Hiya. How are we all? Jesus Christ, I was about to say to you, like, it's really quiet. Come on, don't be quiet now. I was going to say, this is the time boss. So I was like, anyway, we're crinkles.
Protecting one's agenda, they rivals working classes, the blinking ideals, priorities brought by ascending shaky stairs. That seats no throne, it's a freaking joke, so don't tell me that you care. So when you cast your judgment, ignoring reason and pain, your thoughts were spared for my lament, cause you had naught to gain. Cast off to recycle, reinvent, new working style, and if you have to my assistance or vote Boris, I tell you what, I'm gonna run a fucking mile. And now that I've got his attention, what about those with feline lives? Or those who push under the carpet, why is it us that gets in eyes? Partly a thought by sanity, no thought for my psychosociety. I was flogged bled for a TV slot so they could feast and feed on the vanity. Thank you. I've got one more and then I'm going to shoot off for the night so you can enjoy it.
When a gig happens at Christ Church, it's like everyone respects the building, you know, everyone is well behaved, and there's a great intimate connection with the audience and the artists, and I think that's what's brilliant about Christ Church. There's a stage, but it's not too far away from the audience, and that's why I like Christ Church.
So with regards to my music, I do think people are generally supportive. They've always supported my releases that I've put out in the past. I've not done a lot of live performances as of recent, but I am working on doing that at the moment with fellow artists. So I think that the fact that I'm able to work with my contemporaries in Mac says for itself that, you know, I've got support, and to me it means more to have the support from fellow artists, because at the end of the day, I think that we need to all get together and collaborate in order to make a stronger force.
I was lonely as fuck, just busting them up, putting freestyles in it just to feel some love.
What's the language? You know, we've got really little ones here. I know you're having fun, but as a police officer, I've got to say, you've got to watch your language.
Okay.
All right.
No
Thanks
worries.
a lot.
No worries. I feel like in terms of the support in Macclesfield for artists, there might not, on the surface level things, there might not seem like there is a lot, but I feel like Mac is actually quite a creative place. You know, it's got quite good like musical history to it. There are definitely opportunities. However, obviously, if you compare it to a city like Manchester, then it hasn't got as much. But it's compared to, for example, maybe another small little country town. It's definitely got its good little systems in there. Do you know what I mean?
There are a lot more businesses in Macclesfield which are catering to everyone's individual tastes and styles. I think that's great, you know, and there's a lot more people that are hiring individuals to help them promote their business or their brand.
Always. I mean,
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There isn't a council anywhere who probably couldn't do more for the
but
creative industry.
absolutely
in town.
Cheshire's. They could do more and some more and some more.
Yeah, I think there's always room to do more, definitely locally. I mean, they've got quite a few bits going on in here, and that obviously Barnaby's usually every other.
Yeah, that's true. No, I think
it's great.
It's very good actually.
It's good, but I think there's definitely always room for improvement, because there was the food and drink market that ran every month or so at one point, but I don't think it was plugged enough, or kind of, I don't know, because I think that was through the council, but through a third party, but I can't remember. But either way, that could have done with a bit more of a plug, I think. But there's some great local bars like Mash that do great gigs for local bands just to get them started. So
I think they're quite proactive. They're a lot more proactive now than they ever were, and the treacle market again is probably part of that. That's moved things forward a lot, and they're seem far more accessible at the moment after COVID to getting things on and getting the streets opened up so events can happen. So actually a few things have happened over the last year that will put creative industries in Macclesfield. I think
It could be, it'd be nice if they helped by giving us tickets.
Parking tickets.
Parking tickets, when we're trying to load in things like that. I mean, we've had so many fines for parking, so
that's a nightmare.
It will be nice.
But creatively,
they're
better now than they've ever been, but there's still a lot they could do.
Oh my God, yeah.
Full stop.
The problem is social media's taken over everything. Most people, will advertise their work or promote their work on a social platform. So maybe, in terms of support from councils and stuff, they kind of wash their hands of that now because they don't need to support people in that way. I think for people, like artists, I don't know, photographers, people like that, then maybe there should be more support locally for people to have, the opportunity to exhibit the work, so to speak. For musicians, I don't think really we can complain these days because, you know, there's so many avenues to promote your work. The downside of that is that it's just become such a saturated market that it's even harder to sort of get yourself out there, whether it be as an original artist or, you know, whether you're a wedding band, function band, because there's so many.
Nowadays, like, there's so much out there for people to create music. Like, you just got to get on with it. You know what I mean? You just got to start creating.
I think the council could always do more to help local creatives. I've seen things that they've done previously, little projects that they've done in the past. I don't really think it facilitates the actual general idea of what artists really need to put out there to portray themselves. I mean, you do see, you get the street art that's being done at the moment around Macclesfield, which is good to see, but I don't think that it's pushing actual local artists or artists that are present right now.
Technology in a totally different way, but you're not going to be left behind. There's been a strong resistance because they really want to have free reign there.
Algorithms are not going to be able to love and believe. Algorithms are not going to be able to inspire. Algorithms are not going to be able to embrace. Algorithms are not going to be able to love and believe.
Explain what happened with the story there with technology coming in and how they thought it would help make the rooms get cleaned faster, and it turned into a disaster. explain that to us.
There are quite a number of design agencies dotted around Macclesfield, and there's numerous recording studios and spaces you can hire specifically for creative purposes, but I still feel that there is a lack of a solid creative network in Macclesfield.
Silly me, would you come around? We can build a G. Tap tap, we can build a G. Always been a fiend, I'm so funny me. Ha ha, make me laugh. Then he stings sweeter than a honey bee. We're not enemies. We're not enemies, maybe frenemies once. Now we're better G's than all this nonsense. Come around and then she said she doesn't want this. Ha ha, what a silly me. Believing those eyes so easily. At least he had the decency to say it to my face. Recently been needing someone I can go and chase. You know that feeling when you're feeling kind of out of place. I open up my case and take a workload. The way we work didn't work though. I'm a Libra baby, but I'm working like a Virgo. Cause in the future I'll be paying for my furlough. I need my antidote, Michelangelo. Need to feel your flow, cause I'm blocked, rise block, got me stopped, need to find my flow. Off and go and smoke myself silly, what a silly me. Would you come around, we can build a G. Tap tap, we can build a G. Always been a fiend, I'm so funny me. Ha ha, make me laugh, then he stings sweeter than a honey bee. Oh shit, shower time, got my shower song. And I'm in that mood when that shower's long. Yeah, we got it cued, or that certain one. When I think of you, then I hum along. Cause I got you and mine, you and mine, you and Mary. She's so graceful, she on fire. She's so tasteful, and I buy her. I'm never wasteful, super supplier. I'm so grateful. What a silly me, would you come around? We can build a G. Tap tap, we can build a G. Always been a fiend, I'm so funny me. Ha ha, make me laugh, then he stings sweeter than a honey bee. What a silly me, would you come around? We can build a G. Tap tap, we can build a G. Always been a fiend, I'm so funny me. Ha ha, make me laugh, then he stings sweeter than a honey bee.